Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to talk about reasons why I actually love learning the Dutch language. Now, some of these reasons you guys might have as well if you're learning Dutch. Some of these reasons can be applied to different languages and some of them are very Dutch specific. So let's get into the video. So my number one reason why I have loved learning the Dutch language is now I kind of feel like I have a secret language to use. Especially now that we're here in Australia, if I'm having a conversation with my partner, then I kind of have the feeling that no one else can understand us. And I know that's not always the case, and this certainly doesn't work if we are in the Netherlands, but when we travel or when we want to discuss something, we can have that conversation in the open, in public, and know that no one else can understand what we're saying. We can also talk to our daughter and have a Dutch conversation with her and know that no one else can hear what we're saying. So I have loved learning another language because now I feel like I've got something to use and I've got a secret language. So my number two reason is that you get to learn words that don't exist in your own language. Words like gezellig, which are well known that they don't have a direct translation in English, but there's a lot of other words as well. And one of the big things that I've noticed with Dutch in the language is that water plays a really big role, and this is because of how the culture is, where the land is, how the land is made, how buildings have to be designed around water. Water plays a really big role in the Dutch culture, and therefore it's no wonder why they have so many different words to describe it. It's described differently if it's in a city as opposed to in nature, if it's man-made, if it's nature-made. So they've got a lot of different words to describe water that we just don't have in English because it's not something that we need to describe. Things like groef, greppel, sloot, gracht, kanaal and rivier. We do have those words in English, but I think particularly gracht, and correct me if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. I believe that gracht is used if it's a canal in a city, and then a sloot is then not. I'm not entirely sure, but I know that in English we would probably just use the word canal to describe whether it was in a city or small or big or in nature or anything like that. So I know some of these words don't exist because we just don't need them. But I will point out that in Australian English, we do have the word billabong, and this comes from one of our Indigenous languages here, and we are the only English-speaking country that uses billabong to describe a body of water. So I feel like that kind of gives us some up points when it comes to talking about water and having some words that no other countries have as well. My next point about why I love learning Dutch is that you get to make sounds that don't exist in your own language. Sounds like the g and o and ow are incredibly frustrating to start making when you first begin a new language. But as you get a hold of them and you start getting used to making them, it really adds to that feeling of speaking another language, and it makes it fun and exciting to do. It really completes that, just that feeling of being like, I'm speaking another language, and you really start to have a feeling for the language. I know in one of my previous videos, you guys have mentioned that I do sound a lot differently, or like my personality sometimes sort of alters when I'm speaking Dutch. And I think that has to do with, just making new sounds and becoming that language in a way. I don't know if I'm making sense, but that's kind of how it feels when I'm speaking Dutch and when I'm speaking English. My next reason why I've really enjoyed learning Dutch specifically is because you get all of these new sayings to use. Uitspraken are very common in the Dutch language, just like in English, and some of them we do have the same meaning behind them. So for example, twee vliegen in één klap is the same as two birds, one stone. So essentially you've got a solution to two problems with one answer. So I like learning the sayings from a language because it really gives you a better insight into the people that speak that language, what they find important in their culture, and how they express that and what words they choose to express that and how that differs from English or your mother language. So learning new sayings has been one of my favorite things about learning the Dutch language. Another one that I really like from Dutch is je moet in een gegeven paard nooit in de mond kijken. And this is saying don't look, how do I translate this? If someone gives you a horse, don't look in its mouth. And that sounds really strange at first, but essentially the meaning is to just be grateful for what people have given you. And I like that this is kind of ingrained in the Dutch culture, and that's why they have a saying for it. So you really do get a feeling for the people in that country when you start learning the sayings that they use. Now, my very, very last reason why I have liked learning Dutch is, and this probably just comes down to my personality, but learning a language is never finished. You are constantly learning new words, constantly learning new ways to express yourself, and that's kind of the joy of learning a language. It's never finished, you're always learning something new, which kind of gives you that feeling of achieving something all the time. I have learned an incredible amount from you guys who watch my videos and leave comments. I read almost all of them, and I've learned new words, new grammar structures, I've found new resources, I've found examples of people speaking, and it's been fantastic. Learning Dutch keeps my mind busy and active, and like I said before, it gives you that kind of sense of achievement. Every time you learn a new word or you express yourself properly or you've written something and you don't need to make any spelling corrections. It's that feeling of like, yes, I did it. And to be getting that all the time is incredibly rewarding. And that is another reason why I have loved learning the Dutch language. So if you guys have any reasons why you've loved learning the Dutch language, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. If you liked this video, then please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.